Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Power Minutes. I am Maria Luisa, and I am here with Dr. Alexander Steinberg, and we are Power Minutes, and we invite you to join us every month for 15 minutes on LinkedIn Live and on YouTube. Now, what is our mission? We are both here to support you to build self-awareness and choose the right mindset and the right artificial intelligence tools for the new time, to adapt better, to create also consciously the changes you want in your life. And today we have such an interesting topic, Alex.
Yes,
We're going to talk
topic
about...
is...
Yeah, you want to say it?
The topic is... We actually need to introduce next time this drum roll, right? The topic is how to actually adapt your mindset to the new era. We called today's live stream or today's video the new mindset era for a reason, because you probably all noticed that something has changed dramatically, which is we are in a new era and now we need to adapt our mindset. So we have takeaways today to allow you to adapt to that. And also to share with that what is your experience, obviously.
Yes, and we are focused on learning, how learning is shifting. And as a brief intro, we have the opportunity, probably for the first time in history or in written history, to self-realize our highest potential.
Yes.
And maybe you have heard about the concept of Ikigai. And Ikigai is a Japanese word or concept. And it's the intersection, it's the connection between four things: what you love, what you're good at, what you can help other people, so what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. So you really can work in the job of your dreams that you self-create. And this new era make us everything much easier for us if we take the chance, if we take the opportunity.
If we take the chance, exactly. This is where it starts. And that's actually also how we started to decide to create this great course for you, dear viewers. Both Maria Luisa and I have this, we have both founded businesses, and we have a business together where we realized how can you say that? The non-negotiable mindset tools, right? That we need to do exactly what you've just said, to realize your dreams and to live your Ikigai. And so the course we actually put together is something that allows you to learn from us in 7 days, 15 minutes every day during 7 days, these tools, because the era that we're in gives you so much possibilities, but if we don't know how to go about it, we will just get stuck, right? We talk a lot about these limiting barriers that hold us back. And we all know that it starts with procrastination. It starts with beliefs like, I'm not meant to be, I don't know, a painter, or I'm not meant to be that, or I can't do this, or I'm so comfortable in my life now, why should I? And so on and so forth. So how to overcome that and to live the life of your dreams. So we will link that down below in the description. Please check that out in parallel. And now let's dive in, right? We have 3 takeaways on what is this new mindset. Would you like to start, or shall I start? Would you like to start?
Let's have a conversation. Let's start with the first one, which is we have now so many different learning. So knowledge is everywhere. It's available for everybody. And so before, it was only available to some few people that were deciding. So it was to some extent, it was much easier, right? Because we didn't have to choose anything. And now I think the challenge is to choose the right knowledge. What do you want to learn? And where do you choose to learn from? You may have one topic, but 100 different ways to learn that topic.
Exactly. So and also not only who to learn from, as you just said, but also like what to combine it with, right? We talked about that also in the last but one session. The power is in the combination. What do you combine it with? I mean, we can both tell hours of that experience. If you combine marketing with your individual passion, it will maybe be more powerful if you then just choosing whatever some guru is saying and what won't work for you.
Yes.
As an example, right?
Yes. And we're moving from a kind of linear learning that follow a clear path to a kind of matrix learning with several intersections. And
Exactly.
yeah.
And
So we can
branches
start
and
more,
like networks, exactly.
so more dimensions. I was just thinking in the film Interstellar with the many dimensions, and I thought it is a great analogy.
That's a nice analogy. Yeah.
Yes,
Interstellar, for those of
yes.
you who have seen it.
For those, it's a great movie,
Exactly.
by the way.
So this leads us nicely to the next one. So it is much more, the challenge actually becomes less if you want to learn, it's more, okay, what are you ready to take responsibility for? Because that you have to learn is a given, right? We constantly have to learn. That's the new era. But now the mindset is, okay, what can I myself take responsibility for to learn today? How do I structure my day? How do I structure my learning routine? How do I create a learning system? This is, by the way, also what we explain in the course. We actually explain how you can do the steps to create a roadmap, a system to learn what you need for your dream. And that is actually just your choice. And this is where it gets scary, right? Because there's no comparison anymore. You can't compare yourself with, like, let's take our example. We can't compare, both of us, we have successful businesses, but we can't compare them, right? We can't say, oh, today I have done this much better than, no, it doesn't work, because we have different individual business models and different individual ways in which we measure success, because it depends on our dream, right?
Yes, and yeah, and that's scary because in the past, because information was limited and information was power, and there was the people in power that decided what content to learn.
Yeah,
So the only thing you had to do was just to learn. You didn't have to choose, you didn't have to decide. Now you have the power to take this responsibility to decide what you want to learn. And this can be overwhelming, this can be scary. Also, the way of learning is different because we don't learn from the teacher or from a course. We're learning all the time from our
yeah.
peers, from our friends, from what we see in social media, from conversations. Ourselves, we go to the internet to just teach ourselves.
Exactly, it's self-learning. It's much more the element of self-learning, community learning, as you said, so rightly, and also deciding constantly who we want to learn from, right? And we can do peer learning. We can decide to go on a university course. We can also say, no, I learn from my kids today, or I learn a new pattern from something I see on a YouTube channel, on a tutorial. And the combination then, how you put that together for your dream, that is what counts, right?
Yeah, and I think this is really a new skill, how to start taking responsibility for what you want to learn.
Hmm.
And this is something we don't do, because normally you go to the linear path and then you're prepared for life and then you stop learning to some point
That
in
was
time.
the old mindset, exactly.
Yes, yes. But now it's like you need to reverse engineer. So you start with your goal in mind. What kind of lifestyle maybe you want to have in the next 10 years? And how can you achieve that lifestyle? So what are the skills that you need to learn? Maybe you need to
Exactly.
have your own business. Maybe you need to learn how to scale, or maybe you need to learn how to give the content in a different way, that you reach more people, that you help more people. Maybe you have to change the company. So, and this reverse engineer, so starting with the end in mind, we don't learn this at school. And even
Exactly.
now, even now, there are few people that are working this way or learning this
Yeah,
way.
it's true. It's
It's
not
like a kind of,
about,
yes,
exactly.
sorry.
I was just going to underline what you said. It's not about saying, okay, I will be the best in marketing. It's not about that. No, it's, as you said, it starts with your why and you go back from there. It's like, in terms of achieving what my dream is, for that, I need to learn one specific skill out of marketing, not maybe the whole marketing suite. I will choose that and combine it with something else. And that is my measure of success, because that allows me to reach my goal, which is my objective, my why, my reason, as you said in the beginning, my passion and my reason to be. That's the ikigai, right?
That's the ikigai. Exactly. So it's we should start with that exercise. And then
Exactly.
and what we do is like, okay, we collect learnings and tools. It's like a spaghetti learning, but we don't really have a strategy for us for our lives. And this is a really mindset skill that we have to learn by trial. I have to learn this by trial and error, by figuring out the things that didn't work and the things I had
Yes.
to change. And,
And
you
now,
know, I had to start several times because
exactly.
I
This
was
is
not
where the
doing.
mistakes come in, the mistakes. Shall we say that as well? Because we had this conversation before we recorded this video. The mistakes are so important, right? We need to allow ourselves, and in a very self-compassionate way, to do the mistakes, because if we don't do them, and they're actually not mistakes, we talk about that in the course as well, don't we? It's not mistakes. This is also the mindset that we have inherited from the past. It's actually trying out different things until you get to the one that works for you, or the several ones that work for you. There might be several ones. So for me, this is a general philosophy in terms of, I've tried this, it doesn't work. Okay, so, okay, I will move on from that. I will do something else. And we still brand that from the old days as a mistake. It's not. It's actually that is the learning, you know?
Yes, no, zero tolerance of failure.
Exactly.
But it's not. I mean, how do children learn? We have said this several times. So trial and error. They fail,
Exactly.
they stand up, and they try it again. And this is natural, the natural way of learning. So why don't we stop doing this, how it's natural for us? And it kills curiosity also.
Exactly. And we talk about that in the course. How can you then overcome your negative self-talk? Because what is actually so difficult at the beginning when you work on your own mindset is to overcome those self-limiting beliefs. And those are like, for example, to say, oh no, I've made a mistake again. And then you begin to be really hard on yourself. And the negative self-talk is what holds us back, because I'm really bad at this. I did so many mistakes. And then you level yourself down, when actually the mistakes are the ones, or these things that you tried that didn't work, they make you learn, because you will know what doesn't work and what works, you know?
Yes. I mean, if it would be somebody else, you will be more compassionate, but not with us. Yes.
Exactly.
That's great point, isn't it? Yes. And I think we have another one.
Yeah, we had the one about, well, we called it in the course, we called it learning in small steps, or going in small steps. I call it myself, for my own vision, I call it the nano every day. So nano steps every day. So instead of saying, oh no, today I can't do this, it's too much, in terms of overcomplexifying, it's like, okay, at least I do one little nano step. Because if I do every day a little nano step, I have done, my God, the whole year has 365 days. I have done 365 nano steps, which amount to a huge amount of steps. So the thing in small steps, the learning every day, like breathing, you know, learning is every day. We can't just say, oh no, today I don't learn. For me, it doesn't exist. It's not possible.
No, and it's exciting, right? And it's also the other way how learning is shifting too. Now, before, learning was more theoretical. It was like, I mean, I remember when I lived at university and I started in my job, I thought, this has nothing to do with what I learned.
Yeah, exactly. That was the...
So it was zero practical. And it was like, okay, I had to do it because otherwise I wouldn't have got the job. But I didn't apply much of that. And now it's more practical. So it's not only that we choose, but we want to also, we'll learn how to immediately put it into practice to make our lives easier.
It's not, oh, I've done this course and next year I will apply it. No, it's actually, I've learned something today from Maria Luisa, or from my community, or from YouTube, or from my daughter, and I will apply it immediately. That's exactly.
Yes, and the challenge here is how to ask questions.
Yeah.
What do you want to learn? What saves you time? What can you outsource of your daily routines?
And also not to be afraid to ask questions. That's another self-limiting belief of the past. I think I've seen a very good post on that on LinkedIn recently, in terms of, that's also a mindset of the past, that you were supposed to not ask questions if you know something, you know, because you were seen to know something, so you can't possibly ask questions. Whereas now it's completely the reverse. The more you ask curious questions, the more you're actually a learner. And the learners are the ones who are adaptable because they ask a question and they say, okay, how can we solve it? What is your take on that? So the question asking, not just for, I think your example is the AI one, right? The ChatGPT, not only for using artificial intelligence, it's a skill to ask questions, but also in our community learning. If we don't ask questions to each other, how can the other person know what you're trying to solve? I mean,
we're not, I mean, we still cannot read in people's heads.
yeah, exactly. And it becomes really a skill. It is a skill to ask the right question. As you said, it is now also in ChatGPT. There's a much more interactional style, right? So the art of prompting and asking questions has become more and more a skill. Prompt engineering, it's actually called. But also in our everyday interaction, if we don't care for what the other person might be seeing, if we don't ask questions, how do we learn from each other?
Well, you're right. That's that. I think it has always been that way, you know. But the perception was that the people that talk more are the ones that know more, and it's proven that the ones that listen more, the ones that know more.
Exactly. That it has completely been turned on its head, actually. We used to have that image, and that is, I think, a good representation of our generation, isn't it? This image of the more somebody knows, the more the person will just explain to us. And this is not the case anymore. The more that person knows is actually the more the person is able to ask questions to solve a new problem and adapt to that problem. And that is complete game changer. I mean, we had that also. Where did I see that recently? I think it was in a different context, in a reunion where somebody said, no, actually, the person who listens most in a meeting is usually the more humble one and the more experienced one, because he or she knows that now it's key to listen and not to talk.
Yes, and before you had to rely on the people because the knowledge was, as we said, limited, and they had studied, so it was the only source. Now we don't need that people anymore because we can search ourselves for the content, for the knowledge. So what we need to learn, what they need to learn is like proven, like templates or frameworks of learning, of asking, of how to achieve goals, on how mindset. That's what we're doing. So things, how to manage ourselves.
How to manage ourselves, exactly. This is actually the new skill. Now you've summarized it. This is actually the new skill to how to go about the information and how to not be overwhelmed as well. You know, the new challenge is also to be, okay, now I've seen 10 self-help videos on mindset. Now, which one is the right one? It's not that question, right? There is no which one is the right one. It's which one helps me in my situation, or which one will help you in your situation, you know?
Yes, and how to start putting into practice. That's the other part.
Exactly.
Yes, that's the part that you have to do.
Exactly. So now we have come to the end of the 15 minutes, but dear viewers, we plan another exciting topic, which is the mindset of emergence. And that is actually a powerful one, right? How to adapt constantly and how to see things as fluid and not static. That is coming up on the 27th of June. And we will, of course, link down below the subscription link to our joint site and to the course, of course, if you are interested.
So thank you so much for listening, and see you in the next episode.